yourselves and networking and all of those things. I almost hate to stop you, but I know that we've got a great program for you today, and we want to make sure that we make time for that and for your lunch and for lots and lots of great announcements that are going on with the Chamber. I'm Brenda Payne, the President and CEO here at the Hendersonville Chamber, and again, I want to welcome you. We're going to get Frank Cruz up here in a minute to do our introduction and pledge. And as he comes to the podium for that, I want to remind everyone that tomorrow is a very solemn day for our city and our country, September 11th, the anniversary, the 12th anniversary of that day for our country. I want you to also know, in case you have not been advised, there are two ceremonies that are going to be happening in the community that you might be able to join and be sure that we give the right kind of honor and recognition. One is going to be at 9 o'clock in the morning at Memorial Park. Our Hendersonville Fire Department is going to conduct a ceremony there to honor the fallen firemen and policemen. And in Gallatin, at the County Administration Building, I believe that ceremony is actually going to start at 8:46 a.m. So if you're in either town and want to have an opportunity to go and participate in that, we would encourage you to do that. So with that, I would ask that Frank Cruz come. He's going to give our presentation in pledge. Let's all welcome Frank.
Can I ask you to stand? We're going to stand and pray. I've been asked to just give us a moment of silence as we kind of remember the solemn occasion, 9/11/2001. And so let's just have a moment of silence, and then I'll close us out in prayer. Father, I thank you that we do have the freedom to gather, and we do so, Father. And I thank you that we live in a country where we don't really fear persecution by a government. And Father, I know that there are powers that would seek to do evil to us and mankind, and we saw that displayed on 9/11, Father. And I just pray that you would bless those who are still impacted by those events. Many families have lost loved ones, providers, many workers lost their lives protecting others. We just pray your blessings on their families. Father, I pray that you would bless us today. We thank you for our community, for this beautiful day that you provided. I pray that you would just grant us prosperity and that we would do things for your glory. And we thank you. We pray in Jesus' name. Amen. Let's say the pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
By the way, 15 Saturdays until Christmas.
Frank must be selling money for Christmas. I understand that there is actually a correction to something I just told you. The Gallatin ceremony is actually at City Hall, not at the County Administration Office. So I wanted to make sure that you had that information. And then before I ask Lisa Myers to come up, I would like to ask any person in this room who has served with the armed forces, who might be serving actively today or who have ever served, if you would stand so that we could recognize you. It's my great pleasure to introduce the chair of our chamber, Lisa Myers, who is the owner of the Daughter School of Hendersonville and is doing a fabulous job with us this year as our chair. So would you all please welcome Lisa Myers.
Good afternoon. Thank you, Brenda, for that introduction. I also just want to take a moment to thank our chamber staff. You guys may recall that last month, August, we had a wonderful 3-hour tour of Music City Center. It was a great idea. from our chamber staff, and flawless execution, getting us all there and back. So thank you guys for a great job.
You know, we've been losing by
We appreciate it. I also want to thank all of our new members. So since we weren't here in August, and last meeting was July, we've had quite a few new members and organizations join, so we're excited to welcome them. So I got a really good list here, and we're going to welcome them all. Air Academy is Becky Longoria, Bernie Gallerini. Children Are People, Susan Superzinski. Cookie Advantage, Bruce Lang. Fellowship of Christian Athletes, FCA, Jason McCormick. Future Vision Energy LLC, that's Jason Pumpkins. G's Meat and More, George Sheelan. Hendersonville Dental Care, Christopher Schramber, CDS, Kelsey Steffen. Hughes Edwards Builders, Brian Edwards. Interventional Pain Center, Yvonne Harwitz. James P. Hawkins, Attorney at Law, Jim Hawkins. Joe Miniger. The Kimball Office, Julia Roberts. Lady Builder LLC, Natalie Hanson. Morgan Stanley Wealth Management, Mike Hughes. Into Hub Indian Lake Peninsula, Randy Bailey. Once Upon a Time by Amy Sparks. Piranha Bar and Grill, Jay Malfi. PPG Porter Payne, Jim Evans. Premier Radiology, Hendersonville, Michelle Corley. Rodan and Fields, Mary Johnson. Sedan on Demand, Tom Sturgeon. Sumner Business Exchange, James Sanders. Trebella, Christy Smith. Walsh and Associates, Patrick Weaver. Welcome Wagon, Joy Settle. Wing Adult Services LLC, Debbie Smith. And Wireless Direct, Sprint, Jason Bishop. Our chamber's growing. Welcome. I would now like to recognize our elected officials who are present today. If all of our elected officials could please stand. We can start with Gerald Woodcock, if that's okay, and go around the room.
Gerald Woodcock, Hendersonville Alderman, Ward 5.
Matt Stamper, Alderman, Hendersonville.
Marty Nelson, Sumner County Trustee.
I'm Scott Pratt, I'm the Alderman from Ward 1 of the Alderman from Ward 3.
Don Ames, Alderman, Ward 4.
William Lamford, State Representative.
Carol Hale, State Senator.
Oh, and I'm sure.
Scott Foster, I'm the mayor.
Thank you, Mayor Foster. And thank you all for introducing yourself. And now, I'd like to have Gina Scott, our chair-elect, come to introduce our speaker for this afternoon.
Well, it's my pleasure to introduce the speaker today. In January this year, Mr. Wilson was elected to his third term as Tennessee's 34th Comptroller of the State. Prior to that, he was in the law department with Waller, Lansing, George Morris. And he has also served as the Commissioner of the Department of Environment and Conservation and as Deputy to the Governor for Policy under our former Governor Don Sumptis. Mr. Wilson is a graduate of Stanford University, Vanderbilt University School of Law, and New York University. He's also an adjunct professor at Vanderbilt Law School. He, most importantly, is married with 4 children, and I just learned this morning that he has 2 grandchildren and 1 on the way, very quickly on the way up. Well, so thanks very much.
Well, I'm amazed to speak with all those folks that do this. What I'm talking about. Also noticed that we've got everybody third ball. One of your representatives is William Lamb. And we can say, oh, no, they would prefer not to hear. It's much easier not to have. Let me just say a couple of things about heading to the Shirley City this year. And I don't know in your own lives, there are usually small groups of people that you know that on certain topics that you tend to rely on, tend to be knowledgeable and expert on that. And that's the way it is. And you would expect, it would be a surprise to you that, you know, a prosecutor, assistant district attorney, sits naturally in a group that you would have in criminal justice. You would be a little surprised at having the first year, but getting off itself is not enormously surprising, always really unusual. And therefore you see that the court of legislation on DUIs, the difficult balance of privacy and Second Amendment rights, and fraud and prescription drugs, and reporting requirements for mentally ill, those sort of things which seem to be within that scope of competence. And it was, and all those bills are bills that he passed. In fact, it's kind of unusual for a freshman to pass any bill, much less four bills, really directed toward public safety. But, we had a rule this year that came down saying you could only introduce 15 bills in the House of Representatives. And most legislators introduce 15 bills. And most of the bills we know of. Is that even surprised anybody? Well, 10 of his bills would take long. Absolutely unbelievable. So real tribute shows the confidence in he has. But you folks are here because of confidence, because of business. Let's talk about the business bill that he affects pocketbook. One was to one of our Comptroller's office bills to reduce the size of structure. Anybody here in favor of that? One was another one of our bills was for the be sure proper training of local public officials, certified financial management act, and school employees. Be sure they're properly trained. Clarifying the rights of landlords and tenants. That's the last thing in the world you want to do, either as a landlord or a tenant, is to have a big volume without the law being clear, and also the possibility of skills after some of the does damage. Trademarks. Tennessee's trademark bill without date. We're responsible to have it modernized and brought into the 21st century where it belongs. And, in business and utilities, he managed to get on that committee, which is, for a freshman, very unusual. And he's becoming a part of that little circle of 5 or 6 people who are really making the decisions with how the House handles issues that really relate to the fiscal responsibility of how you do business in Tennessee. That's something that y'all really want to keep. Now you've got a senator here, Farrell Hale, and he's a little different from most of the senators.
he wouldn't run in a special election. He kept the promise. He waited until the next election to run. He did exactly what he said. And then we have this little game down at National, and it really is a game. Let's see how much money you get out of the legislature, how much money you get out of taxpayers' pockets. And we call it per diem. And we have folks who live in outside of the Capitol, get their travel expenses and get them. Well, he made a promise. First bill that he would introduce would be to deal with this. And as you can imagine, the vested interest in that was not small. Well, you know, we asked him to carry one of our bills. He said he'd be pleased to do so, and he did. But he said only if I can introduce my bill on per diem first. He did. One of the first bills passed in the General Assembly. The sort of honesty in government that we all want and should be proud of. This person's term passed 12 bills. That's a lot. That's really impressive. You know, I don't know what, and what's more important than that is some of those bills were good for the taxpayers. And two of our bills, and surprisingly, they were to reduce the size of government. I think we all want to know that. And both of these gentlemen represent a new breed that we have in National. And it's a breed I believe that you would like. It's really dedicated to a type of government that's designed to allow you to have your own lives. Let me talk about what they did. Is that they reduced the size of government. I've never heard of such a thing. Actually, government got smaller. Reduced taxes. Really? Reducing taxes. These days. And what they also did is they balanced the budget. Well, y'all say, big deal. The Constitution requires you to balance the budget. Everybody balances the budget. Doesn't mean anything. Well, they did it a little differently. They actually balanced the budget. I mean, the money going in, the money out, actually balanced. Without a lot of these games or accounting tricks that, you know, we call them changes in methods of accounting or something like this, and y'all probably hear Southern County call it lying, which is the same as accounting. And they did this, and they did this getting out the earliest that they ever did this century. That's quite an accomplishment. And they did this with a budget, smaller budget. But as you all know in your own business, is your budget reflects your priorities and what's important for you. And any student of Tennessee budget knows it's very rough terms. A third federal money, third tax money that comes out of your pockets, third other income variety of sources of these expenses, tuition, all that sort of stuff, all those third. And it probably is of no surprise to anyone that the bulk of the federal money was on medical care. That reflects priorities set in Washington. That's no surprise. But in Tennessee, different from most other states in the country, and I can keep up, you know, all this is my job. We actually increased the amount of money for education, while most states reduced the amount of education, and we reduced our overall spending. So think what that means. But that is priority for today's term. Let's talk a little bit about some of the other things. Tennessee is, depending on how you count, everybody got different way to count. It's 49th or 50th in taxes, state taxes in the country. So we're a low tax state. Decision. And so I have to agree with it, you can have other decisions. And we're also a low debt state. We, according to Fitch, which is what rating agencies deal with all the time, we've got the lowest debt burden of any state in the country. And one thing that, I don't know whether Tennessee is unique on this because I haven't seen the analysis from all the other states, although we may well be the only state, is that the so-called general obligation of the state debt actually decreased last year. Ever heard of such a thing? Remarkable and very powerful. And we did this in the year that we put another $100 million in the so-called rainy day fund that, dealing with those bad times that may come up. Which is kind of like it. You folks from Gallatin, you know that Senator Farrell was able to get through legislation allowing a rainy day fund in the city of Gallatin up to 20%, which is a wonderful way to local management. The physical soundness of the state is one of my responsibilities. And I talk with my contemporaries, from the other states all across the country. And there are only about 4 or 5 other persons in my position, and we have different names in every state, can say this, is that I feel very comfortable that the state of Tennessee can and will meet its obligations and will have open operating government that provides essential services to its citizens under almost any sort of circumstances that we can imagine, other than perhaps losing a war or invading or something like that. And there's not many people that could say that. That is a powerful tribute to the state. Now, I've said a lot here, and I could go on and talk about our audit and some of the great fraud cases we've found. Some of them were fun. And some of the ways that we used the money that they've used money with to get your interest. But let me just pass on what I've learned, much to my surprise since I came to this office, that the number of public officials, and that's why I was very pleased to see how many were here, the honesty of Tennessee public officials is, I'm very comfortable and pleased with it. And I absolutely believe that most public officials in Tennessee are absolutely determined to do a good job for their citizens the best they know how. And that's why we're so aggressive in talking about it, following any possible abuse that we see. Now, having said this, what I think I'll do is understand you have questions, and I'll open up the floor to questions about anything you want, and you all get to see a wonderful dancing act because I'm splendid at dodging questions. Yes, sir.
Mr. Wilson, one of the significant financial obligations of the state is Tennessee consolidated retirement system. The private sector moved away from defined benefit plans towards defined contribution plans back in the 80s, but many states have not. I understand that the state of Tennessee is making some changes in that regard. I'd like you to share some of that information with us.
Okay, let's talk about this a little bit. Anybody here either are or have a teacher or a state employee or in their families? Rest assured, pension will be paid. Tennessee's pension is one of the best funded in the country. Probably, depending on that, it's got actuarial figures, but it's about 92, 93% funded. So the Tennessee General Assembly has, every year since 1972, fully funded the so-called R, annual required contribution, to ensure that it is funded. So if you've got the existing state pension, or you have a family member who is registered, it will be paid, and not many other states say that. But I don't know how much many of you people know. You obviously know a lot about it. Some people may not know a whole lot about it. So-called post-employment benefits, and particularly retirement benefits. And they are a time bomb. And one of the things they have is so-called defined benefit plans, which the Tennessee existing plan is, that assures you a certain benefit at a certain time. But to get this, you make all sorts of actuarial assumptions, and I can go into all sorts of details about this. But you're subject to market risk, which is probably a bad thing. But you're also subject to people living longer, which is a good thing. So you've got all those. And so continue to have a defined benefit plan has unexpected liabilities that can come up that are difficult to control and to manage. And quite frankly, doesn't really meet the mindset of my children, and perhaps your children, who really don't like the idea of a big plan over there for everybody, but want to have their own plan that they can deal with and understand that goes with them as they pass. And what the Tennessee General Assembly did is took everybody who's on the plan now, and everybody who will be on the plan between now and July, June 30th of next year, to say nothing changes. And that has a fixed universe of people, which will decline over a period of time. And we can fix the cost and the cost for that, and we can manage. Right now, we're in good shape. We don't know what will happen in the future. It's okay. And then we took, because a new plan, the new hires, after July 1 of next year, and said that, yes, we will do this for part of your retirement, but the rest we will have your money. And we also guaranteed that in the past what we did is we contributed in bad years and we didn't contribute in good years because the markets went up and didn't need to contribute. We said we're going to contribute every year, be sure that we got stability. We set limits on how much you can have and how much not have to make sure that we have stability and consistency treating with our employees, or the so-called defined benefit portion. We took also, and we put a limit to maximum liability that the state could have. We also took basically the same amount of money, so the employees will, depending on how things play out, end up about the same benefit, and gave them their accounts where it would go to, it would be, it would be for them to have, and it would travel with it if they happen to leave the state. The state would have a defined amount they put in each year not being put them out of the market. And, you know, I personally believe that this will work out well for the employee. The younger employees prefer it strongly, and probably will add to the financial stability of the state. It's all part of the general plan that I've been working on, and the constitutional officers have been working on to have stability and consistency to the state finances, and why I say that I feel comfortable that the state of Tennessee will have a operating full government, the courthouse doors open, and company capital, we'll have functioning government for you. I can get much more detail, I think that's probably enough. Yes, yes. Representative.
Tell us what you think about the federal government telling us in the last few days that we can't do cover Tennessee and cover kids and all those things because of Obamacare, and how that maybe will affect the state budget.
I will say what I think. It's not, you know, it doesn't matter. I think it's fair to talk about what it does to the state budget. The state budget is a trick, and one of the biggest variables is federal money. And that makes planning a nightmare, a true nightmare. And particularly since the biggest number that the feds give us, and when they give us, they don't give it, they've got strings attached, and you must meet with their requirements, and sometimes their requirements are quite prescriptive. You may not, you're obligated to set forth an infrastructure within the state in order to expend money according to the rules that are set forth by the federal government. Well, when they change those rules, then you have citizens who have expectations that are not met. And then you also have the difficulties of employees that, you know, the not proper use of resources. And you're having your decisions that property belong to you made by someone else. And so I am not at all concerned with the federal government reducing the amount of money that they want to spend. That's fine. But I am concerned about not knowing what it is, so we can't plan on it. You can't make decisions and make expenditures and make commitments that we will keep. We may not necessarily have the money to keep it. And healthcare is probably the area where there's the greatest risk of having these problems. We have contingency plans, but our contingency plans are only as good as our guessing what the federal government will do. And that's a tricky, tricky game. I feel like we're prepared, if not more prepared than the other states. But I don't want to tell you that I do not expect some sort of turmoil because of changes of federal funding. I think that's absolutely reliable. It's not just operation of state government, but even more importantly, that affects our people's lives and our citizens' lives. And that's really what's supposed to work for us all. Any other questions? Was I that clear about everything? Okay. Well, thank you all. Appreciate it. Thank you.
Thank you so much for presenting to us today. We're always thrilled to hear from experts and are pleased that you were with us today. We've got a couple of announcements we need to make. Upcoming connection opportunities include the Leads Exchange. It meets every Wednesday at 12 noon at the Chamber office. If you haven't joined us for that in a while, that group changes all the time. It's so much fun. You can dance. Lots of great opportunities to meet new people and connect with other business leaders in our community. The business after hours is September 19th. This is a big one. It's at Rock Castle. It's going to be hosted by ITS Techs, Nationwide Insurance, Samantha Barnett and Cheryl Sessler, Shane's Rib Shack, and Tinkersley Chiropractic at Rock Castle from 5 to 7 p.m. So don't miss out on that. The October luncheon, we will have the Director of Schools, Dr. Dale Phillips, will be here to speak, so that'll be very interesting. Promotion opportunities. How many of you like to eat? Everybody in the room, you all ate today. Jump in. I know how this works. The Taste of Hendersonville is this Thursday from 5 to 8 p.m. at the streets of Indian Lake. We have tickets here for sale. I know you're surprised that we've got tickets for you to buy, but we've got those right over here. You can see Allison before you leave. Some of you got some with your membership levels, so that's a great way to get those out to clients. So you might have already given those out and you need more for yourself. We hope that you take advantage of that. We've got over 20 restaurants coming. Great sponsors. That is presented by the Daughter School. We love our partnership with them and are looking forward to another successful event at the streets of Indian Lake. We also have the Women Impacting the Community here on October 24th. It is presented by Business Credit Reports, and guys, I just need you to tune out for a minute, because this just is not going to be an event for you. And I apologize, we're not being mean. We're just going to get some ladies in the room and really network. Have we ever I heard that? We will talk after. Anyway, this will be a great opportunity for women to network, but to also learn from each other. And we're going to take that opportunity to talk about some of the challenges that women face and just really work together and have a great evening of fellowship and networking. And we're going to have an amazing speaker, Deb Varallo. If you do not know who she is, you'll want to compare her stage. She is awesome. Support opportunities. The YPC is teaming up with Sertoma for a 5K on September 21st. If you have questions about that, you can see me or Matt Lawson about that event. It's a great opportunity and gives back to a couple of great organizations and some school groups in our area. The staff will host a free luncheon on October 10th at the Chamber. It's hosted by Jet's Pizza. We want to hear from you and review how the Chamber works for you. So this is a great chance to come and learn. If you're not using all of those aspects of your membership that you've got, come and sit down and we'll talk about it and tell you how to make that work for you. We only reserve the first 25 members for that, so you want to get in on that list early. Advocacy opportunities. Coffee and Conversations, we also host that here. It's going to be on October 4th at Bluegrass, 7:15 a.m. We will have coffee. It's early. But it's going to be worth it because we're going to have representatives from the Sumner County Commission. They'll be sharing the latest updates, so be sure to register. It is a free event for members if you register in advance. If you show up that day, we're going to charge you a little bit, but we want you to get on that list so we know how many to prepare for. We've got a couple of drawings. And we'll get to those as soon as we hear from our display table. So I'm going to invite Keep On Tages, Holly Guggenheim, up, and Children Are People, Elizabeth O'Connell, who's the chair of that, to come up and tell us what you've got going on.
Hello guys, how are you? I'm with KeepOnTages.com. Our table over there, you can get some information if you're lying on. We are a local-based website. I work for a company called Go Local Media Group, and we've been in business since 1999. KeepOnTages.com is one of our properties. It is a local-based, consumer-based, member-based website where you can sign up and receive one email a day and with a coupon, and it's a local merchants only in Sumner County. We're very excited about this. We have Jet's Pizza on board, Monkey Joe's, Hoppity Hops, other great ones, and today I'm going to give 2 free months to Strike and Spare and Kimbrough Air. So if you guys want to come and see me when you're finished, we'll give you guys both 2 free months to advertise them or to be local consumers. So if you haven't signed up, please do so at www.keepontages.com. It's free for consumers to sign up and cost you. Thank you very much and have a great day.
Hey, I'm Elizabeth O'Connell, and I am proud to be in front of you all today as a representative of Children Are People and out of Gallatin. I think I'm in front of the right group with the eaters and dancers in the room, because I want to tell you just 2 things. I want to tell you about CAP, if you don't know about Children Are People, and Mr. Fred Bailey, and I want to invite you to an upcoming party. So, Children Are People, amazing organization that was founded by Fred Bailey in 2000. He identified at-risk kids in Sumner County, and it's a great after-school program that provides tutoring, mentoring, enrichment programs, everything. And we do this with zero money from the government. So we are totally dependent on you all as volunteers in Sumner counties and your businesses. So we really need your help for those programs, the teachers, the enrichment programs, all of our field trips, the money just for the bus to go from the schools to the center, and we need your help. So what a better way to do that than come to a party to celebrate? Oh, I didn't mention, we are Reader's Choice Best Nonprofit in Sumner County, 2 years in a row. So for 2012, and make sure that we get voted in 2014 Best Nonprofit. But the party is September 21st, mark your calendars, it's at the Expo Center at 6 o'clock. It's called Under the Tuscan Sun. We have an awesome band, the Garage Band Revival, and many of you all know Don Dickerson and his crew. They will rock the house that night, and we really appreciate all their efforts to support the kids. Wonderful food, Italian, did I mention open bar? So it's going to be a lot. If you're there, yeah. So I got my dancers, got my local bar people. Silent auction. Somebody said Christmas shopping about freaked me out, but come on. We've got great silent auction, unique items. Come do your Christmas shopping with us. What's the date? September 21st. Mark your calendar, and we look forward to seeing y'all there. Thanks.
They always give me all this great stuff to talk about, and I totally miss giving you your thank you. We have 4 tickets to the Taste of Hendersonville, so we hope you're able to join us. And we have 2 more drawings that we want to do before we let y'all go today. We have a Jets Pizza giveaway, and that goes to Megan Rewa from American Family Care. And a gift certificate to Signature Cleaners Advance, who is always so great to give us giveaways, Ken Anderson from First State Bank. So those are our giveaways. You can come up here and get those, and we hope you have a great rest of your week. Thank you for being here today.